It's a good day. Okay, here we go. More U sub. The whole point of U sub is to do chain rule in reverse. I may have said it, but now I'm going to make you write it so that it really imprints on your brain. It's chain rule in reverse. So if I'm taking the derivative with respect to x of a composite function, a function within a function, right? It is going to be the derivative of the outer function, agreed, leave the inner alone, times the derivative of the inner function, yes? Peppermint problem. Well, when we go to integrate that puppy, we have to go backwards. And everything's not always there. We got to look. If everything's there, we just straight up integrate it. But that doesn't always happen. And even if it does, sometimes y'all don't recognize that this inner function right here, that's u. And this out here, this is du, so this is du. This whole thing right here. Oh, and then it gets real simple because what happens is you get this in terms of u and this in terms of u, and all you got to do is put the coefficient on the outside because all it is getting the coefficient right and recognizing the pattern. Is that why the first worksheet was matching two patterns? Once you see the patterns, do they get really easy? But just because it's in the denominator does not mean it's going to be a natural log. Sometimes it's a power. And some of y'all made it up, it was a squared, and y'all turned it into a square root. I'm not sure why. But like y'all were very creative. But in a good way. So let's try some more. Remember, it's all about chain rule. So points for creativity, but taking away points because all of it was wrong. Integral of x squared over 4 plus x cubed, all that squared dx. Yeah, I meant to do that. Okay. What was my first hint to you? Look in the denominator. Look if something's raised to a power. If something's raised to a power in the denominator, is u obvious to you? What am I going to pick? Is that going to be my u? So go off to the side. U equals 4 plus x cubed. So what's du equal? 3x squared what? Because a bunch of you left off the dx, and then you left the dx in, and then you had this dx at the end, or you left x's in, and you had, I'm like, what? Is it really obvious to you? Can you see that I don't need all of this? I need only this much. So what do I do with that 3? I toss it on the other side. So do I get a 1/3 du equals x squared dx? Now does this match that exactly? And I need to just put in a 1/3 du here, and I put a u here. Does this whole thing become u squared? But is u squared in the denominator? Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so what do I end up with? I end up with the integral. This becomes 1 over u squared. That 1/3 I'm going to put all the way out in front. Do we agree that it's just a coefficient and have a du? Can we rewrite this? Can we do something with this power so that, sorry, that's a cubed. Yeah, can we make it a negative power and move it up so I can actually use power rule? This is the most powerful trick, other than actually simplifying things, which we'll get to about your test. Because that's going to appear again on your test, since it was the most missed problem. Is this easy now? It's -2, you're right. I was getting it carried away. There we go. I was doing the 3s for everything. Silly me. So, some of y'all did that too, just made up stuff. What's the antiderivative of something to the -2 power? So it's going to end up being u to the -1 over -1. If you missed anything lately, should you write that out so you don't keep making that mistake? Because a bunch of you made a bunch of sign mistakes. What's it plus? Still not getting all the C's. Still not seeing all the C's. So is this going to ultimately end up with negative 1 over 3u plus c? What was my u? Some of you stopped. Not very many. I was surprised because normally there's always a bunch that stop. There weren't very many who stopped. Did you forget to put back in what was in? Do I want to end up back with x's? And by the way, this is equal to y. So y is equal to negative 1 over 3. What was my original function? 4 plus x cubed plus c.
Muito mais fácil.
Close. It weren't bad, were it? Okay, guess what? Now you got to do u sub with definite integrals. Definitely going to be a problem. So remember how we have the integral from a to b of little f of x dx. Is that going to be the antiderivative evaluated at b minus the antiderivative evaluated at a? I will tell you now, if you will do a complete u sub, your math mistakes will be fewer because the u sub forces you to do part of the math first, and then the math gets easier when you do the rest of the math. So it breaks it up into bite-sized pieces. What if I'm going to integrate 0 to 3 of 1 over the square root of 1 plus x dx? This one's an easy one. What's my u? No. 1 plus x. What's my du? Just dx. Right? Oh, but we should do a complete u sub. What's u of 3? When I put 3 in for x, what do I get? Oh, that was quick. And then I get 0. It's 1. Why'd you say 2? Okay. Anyway, when I do a complete u sub, do I get from 1 to 4 of 1 over u to the 1/2 power? I'm going ahead and changing that. Du, oh my goodness, was that easy? Now, change that to move it in the numerator to it's 1 to the 4 of u to the negative 1/2 du. Because I changed my limits of integration, I am never going back to x. This makes it easy math now. So what's the antiderivative of something to the negative 1/2 power? So it's u to the 1/2 power divided by 1/2, but u to the 1/2 divided by half is the same as multiplying by 2, yes? Can I do that? If you need to write divided by half, write divided by the half. I'm not going to. I've had enough. Here's another thing for notation from your test. Once I've integrated, do not put an integral sign again. Don't put anything in front. Don't even make it straight in front because it looks like an integral sign, doesn't it? You're going to put it in back with a bar, 0 to 3. I put it back here. It means I'm about to stick it in. It's not an integral sign anymore. So what does this equal? It equals 2 square root of 3 minus 2 square root of 0, which is just 2 square root of 3, and I am done. I did that wrong. It's 4. I changed it. Don't let me do that. I already changed these. I changed these. Oh, wow. I looked up there, and boy, did I mess that up. Is that a common mistake? Don't do that. Okay, let's try this again. 2 square root of 4 minus 2 square root of 1 is 2 times 2 is 4 minus 2 is 2. Too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. But wait, I got more examples because I am not done with you. Did y'all finish that? Can I change the page? Why you not want me change page? Okay, here we go. Shh. So my third example is going to be the integral from 0 to 1 of x e to the negative 3x squared, because I know y'all love exponentials so much. Yeah, well, we get back to that in chapter 8, near the end. Okay. I'm going to rearrange this so you can see what's going on. 0 to 1, e to the negative 3x and then I x dx. Okay, that was really messy. Negative 3x squared. Do you see that this goes together? What's u going to be? Is u always, if you've got an exponential all by its little lone, what did you say? That's something stupid, I'm sure. Never mind. U is equal to negative 3x squared. Remember e to the u? Now, some people said anything but exponentials. Like, is the derivative of e to the x e to the x? Is the integral of e to the x e to the x? Is that the easiest one? Why don't y'all like it? E is for easy. For anybody who said anything but e. Okay, so this is going to become e to the u. That's my u. What's my du equal? Negative 6x dx. Do I only have the x dx? So I got negative 1/6. See, I changed it besides 1/3 for once. I just made it something different. Yeah, it was fun. Du equals, see, everything isn't 1/3. So this thing is going to become negative 1/6 du. Do I need to change my limits of integration to make my life easier? Yes, you should. So u of 1 is just negative 3. U of 0 is just 0. Oh, wow. So what am I going to get? I'm going to get y equals the integral from 0 to negative 3 of e to the u. I'm going to take the negative 1/6, put it out in front, and put a du. What's the integral of e to the u du? E to the u. And then Satan said, let's put the alphabet in math. I have that t-shirt. I have all those goofy t-shirts. Am I going to evaluate this from 0 to negative 3? Because the antiderivative of e to the u is e to the u. Because the derivative of e to the u is e to the u. So now it's negative 1/6. And it becomes e to the negative 3 minus e to the 0. What is e to the 0, by the way? 1. E's just 1. So what's this going to equal? If you're on the AP test and it's a multiple choice, they will not stop. They will go, okay, that's 1. So this is going to be negative 1 times the negative 6, which would be 1/6. And this is going to be minus 1 over 6 to the e cubed. That is what they would do to you. They would say that's the final answer. Can you recognize it on the AP test? Well, we're going to have to work on that. Okay, how else can they be tricky? Since y'all don't like E, do they put it on there a lot? Do they put a lot of natural log on there because they don't think you like that either? But by the time I finish with you, you're going to see that those are easier because if it's E or natural log, should you be able to spot what you need to pick for you every flippin' time? Okay, this one is going to be the exception to the rule. Y'all are going to sit there and go, huh? Huh? Okay. Uh-oh, you can't just pick the power of E on this one. I got E's in the top and the bottom. Instead, go back to what was my first hint. Look in the denominator. Are we going to pick this? What is the derivative of e to the x? E to the x dx. Sorry, that's supposed to be du. Right? This is du. This is u. Now plug in the 3. Is that just going to become e? That's going to get messy. Uh-oh. This is, we can still do it. What's u to the 1? So it's e to the 1 minus 1. They're messy, but can we do them? Of course we can. I would have done this. Personally, I would have done this one. I would have integrated it with an indefinite integral and then put back in the x's and then evaluated it. But it's not a problem. We can still do this. Watch. So this is going to become e to the 1 minus 1 going e cubed minus 1 of 1 over u du. Am I right? Is it 1 over u du? Okay, what is the antiderivative of 1 over u du? Natural log, absolute value of u, right? And I'm going to evaluate from e minus 1 to e cubed minus 1. Do you see where this is going? It's going to get nicer. Oh, it is, because we're going to plug these in. So does this equal the natural log absolute value of e cubed minus 1? And if you know anything about it, well, never mind, don't worry about it. And then minus e, natural log of e minus 1. Yes? Subtract those. Do you get natural log? Okay, what are log properties? If I'm subtracting things, does it mean I divide them? Okay, and I'm going to help you. Because e cubed, because I learned how to do binomial, what do you call it? I learned Pascal's triangle, which means I can do binomials to powers. I can do ax minus b raised to the 3rd power, or the 5th power, or the 11th if I'm really persistent. It's binomial expansion. That's what it is, binomial expansion. I can do that. Y'all can't. But I know that e cubed minus 1 is this one, the cube root of this minus the cube root of that times e squared. Change this. If that's minus, this has to be plus. And then it's going to be e, because it's a times b, minus, or no, plus b squared, which is 1. And I taught my Algebra 2 students that, and they don't remember anything, do you? No, he doesn't remember it. I taught him this. Didn't stick. That's okay. And I look at this and go, oh, it's e minus 1. And guess what factors out? And this ends up being natural log absolute value of e squared plus e plus 1, which is always positive, but don't worry about it. It would have parentheses on the multiple choice question. Okay, now, on the AP test, they probably won't do anything mean and nasty like this, but if they did, if you saw this as an answer choice down there, could you take yours and go, probably missing something? There's no minuses in there. Let me try dividing it by e minus 1 and see if anything good happens. And you would go back to that whole long division thing. More than likely, they're not going to do that to you. More than likely. But it'll happen to you in college. Guaranteed. Okay. Look at your worksheet. Everybody pull it out. Worksheet. Shh. I'm going to write down patterns from your worksheet. It's on the back of the other one. It's a full sheet with U sub, not the trapezoid rule. Full sheet. There we go. One side says match, turned it over. The other one says more. But instead of 3 things, are there 4 things at the top? Okay, for the first one, shh, the integral of e to a power, not e to a power, natural log to a power, is u to the, not natural log, u to the power is u to the n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c, right? And then the integral of 1 over u du is equal to natural log absolute value of u plus c, right? And the integral of e to the u du is the easiest one ever, is e to the u, right? And then there's that last one. What is the integral of sine of u du? Psst. It's not psst, actually. Does the answer, okay, it's going to be cosine, but does cosine start with a c? So since there's no negative there, do I put the negative here? Y'all are still messing that up from the test. Plus c. The integral of cosine of u du, this is sine of u. It starts with an s, so it's positive. This one's negative, it has to be negative. This one's positive. They have the same sign. So s, same sign. C, make it negative. Plus c. And I need y'all to remember average value, because now can we throw in u sub with average value? Oh, watch me. Is that going to be a definite integral? Definitely from a to b of f of x dx. And this is the rectangle that has the same area. And that's the height of the rectangle. F of c is the height of the rectangle. Okay, y'all need to work now, because I am done.